Hello everyone and welcome back to TNG Adventures. Today on the To Rust or Not to Rust series, we're gonna take apart some seatbelt stuff. We're gonna look at the gaskets around the windows and the doors, and we're gonna take those off. So I hope you enjoyed this video too. Please like, share, subscribe and comment. So now I need to take all these seatbelt stuff off. We've got two bolts over here, one over here, one down here, another one down there, another one over here, another two over here, and then we've got the buckles, one bolt here, one bolt here, and I think I'm just gonna leave these bolts in here. And then we need to take these plugs off, and I'm probably gonna have to take the sensor out too, so that it doesn't melt when I work over here. And this is the situation right now. So they look really bad. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to weld them myself, but I'm gonna try. When you take off the seat belt, you have to take it off from this, so it's one screw and this kind of puzzle, so it goes in there and slides down, and then you can screw it in. And for the top ones, you kind of have to bend this plastic to get the screw in the back. Of course, if you use a wrench or something, it's easier, but you have to wrench on it. When you take these buckles off, be careful not to lose this kind of washer. I think these threads, onto the threads, just so that you don't lose the bolt, but I'm not sure. Maybe it has another utility also. And one more thing is that here on the bottom, you will see that this bolt goes all the way through. You can see the wheel. So yeah, it might be rusted, but it did come loose. Actually, almost all the screws have these kind of washers. So these two have it. The one on the bottom has it. Only these ones for the seatbelt itself don't have it. They have a groover washer. So yeah, in my case, one stayed on the car, and I have another one that I need to find, unless it's missing, because I didn't notice it for the first screw I took out. As you can see, I took the door cards off. We need to take the speakers out. So there's one speaker in the back right here. There are 3 screws holding it in, and a plug on the back. And for the front, 3 screws, a plug right here, which I can just unplug. This is the original plug, because I created the holder for the new speakers into the old speaker housing. I can just reuse the wiring that was in the car, so I just plug it in and it plugs into the new speaker. For the mirror, I have to unhook this plug. Fortunately, I broke the tab when I installed them, but that's life. It's fine. It doesn't come off. And for the tweeter, as far as I know, you just have to pry on it to make it come out. Of course, you gotta be careful not to break it. Just like that. And then you press this little tab and the plug comes off. The plug comes out and you can take the tweeter off. For the mirror, after you unhook it, you have 3 screws. There are 2 additional screws behind these caps. You just take the caps off. Be careful not to lose them. and then you unscrew the 3 screws. Also be careful when you unscrew these 3 screws that you have a good bit that is perfect for this screw, because I tried to take some other mirrors off and the screw just round off, and then you have to drill it out, and that's pretty hard to do in this position. So be careful to not break the screws. So then that's how the mirror comes off, and I don't think I'm gonna take the handles off, but we'll see. If I have to take the handles off, there's one screw holding it in here, and then it slides forward, I believe. So after you've unscrewed the mirror, you can see the screws right here. The mirror shouldn't fall off because it's held in by some tabs. So if you come on the other side and you take it out, you have to pry on it a little bit. And then it comes out. So as you can see, these bushes that the screws go into the rubber on the door. And then you have to just fish the connector out carefully like that, and the mirror is off. I also like to put the tweeter back in the tweeter cover so that it doesn't get lost. So as you can see, it fits snugly into these 2 pins, and that's how you don't lose the tweeter or the cover, or if you lose them, you lose both of them. I guess. And I also put the screws back into the mirror so that I don't lose the screws. And I'm gonna put the caps back into the door. So just thread the screws back in, then put the caps back in here. And that's it. Of course, we still have the speaker to be taken off. Hopefully it won't fall down. So that's how I installed the new speakers. As you can see, I soldered the wires straight to the old plug. Same on this. I'm gonna put the screws back in, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take this off, so I'm gonna put the screws back in behind the plastic, and hopefully I won't forget that they're there. So I'm gonna do this on all the doors, and then I'm gonna have to take these handles off so that I can get the rust off of them. So as you can see, 2 screws on this, and that's it. In order to take these gaskets off, there's a small clip right here in front. Not sure if I can show you. It's pretty hard to access there, but you can probably kind of see. So it's right here. Small clip right there, and then 3 more clips. One over here and one over here, and then this just comes off. Well, actually I see there are some small clips in here too. I'm not sure if these come out with the gasket or not, but I'm gonna try to take them out with the gasket. So yeah, I guess there's multiple of those. I thought this goes on a sheet metal, but it doesn't, so I need to be careful not to break those. So I'm gonna start with the small ones. This is where the first one is. I don't really want to use my metal piece. Let's try with the plastic one. That's a bit sharper. Those are so small. Yeah, broke one. Actually, I don't think it broke, but I guess I can just unhook it. So if you look at this clip, it's got a small hook going downwards or upwards, I guess. You can just try it either way. This one goes upward and you can just slide it off. Yeah, I guess it's a T. I broke this one, so it's not just on one side, it's on both sides. But because the gasket is elastic, you can just pry it out. Okay, so I see there's a lot of them, so you gotta be careful when taking them out. These small ones are really easy to take out. They look like this. Just pry underneath them and then they come out. You can see if these stay with the gasket, because yeah, they do stay with the gasket. So I'm gonna leave them be with the gasket. And unfortunately, the inner gasket is also connected to the outer one, so you basically have to take the whole thing out. I thought I would just take the outside part and leave this inside part, but I guess it doesn't work that way. But it's got the same clips, so you can just unhook them. So I'm thinking I should take out those, I don't know, door strikers or whatever they're called. I believe that's a 10mm. So on the rear, I've got one clip over here, one over here, and again one in front, right there. And the gasket is probably going to disassemble the same way. You have another inside gasket over here, so it's basically the same way as it was on the front door. So again, I need to go all the way around, unhook this gasket, and of course whatever you unhook you will have to hook back in, so it's a bit of a lot of work. So now the small clips. So although I said that I'm gonna keep them with the gasket, I think it's better to just set them together with the screws. So one clip over here in the back and two in the front. Okay, be careful not to drop them. They are really small. I thought I saw a potty cat. I did see a potty cat. This guy keeps evading, so I need to always be careful with them. That's basically the same on both sides, front and rear. So I'm gonna take these clips and put them together with the other ones so that I don't lose them, because I'm going to have to wash these gaskets. And then we need to take the screw. Okay, so now the gasket should come out. Oh, actually there's one more clip in here. So on the back there's more. And this is much harder to access, I guess. Just comes off. So I'm gonna do the other side off camera, and that's how these gaskets come off. For the top gasket, I'm gonna start by taking out this plastic trim on the back. I know this is also clipped in, so you can just pull on the inside. It should come out, but it's easier if you use one of these plastic tools. And on the top you will see that it slides in this metal piece that goes around the windows, just like that. The clips are here, and it clips in here. I'm gonna do the other side off camera again. Then there are a few clips, the small type. 1, 2, 3 in the back, 4, 5, and I believe that's it in the front. 2 in the front. And I know that you have to slide the gaskets from underneath this piece. That's gonna be a bit harder, but you will see that there are some screws in here, and then some screws underneath here, all the way around. So let's start with the clips. They are a bit more on the inside, so it's a bit harder to get to them. One in here, then on the front. There's not really good tucked in there, so you can also just go underneath with one of these clip tools and clip the whole thing out. So you pry on the gasket too, not just the clip, because these ones go in this kind of shape, so they're hidden. And then you can just start by pulling on the gasket. As you can see, it just comes out all the way up to here. Same on the back. There's some really old foam in here, which is crumbling. I guess with age, it would be better to just replace these gaskets, but I'm not gonna go that far. So you just unhook it, and then here in the back, with the doors open, you're gonna grab the bottom and pull it downward, and it should slide out. Actually, maybe you can just take these sides, slide them out, and then using a screwdriver you can just unscrew the screws where you slide the gasket out, and you will reveal the screws underneath. And also in here you will see there are screws holding in this metal piece, so a lot of screws, but yeah, you just have to unhook those. So it's easier to do this on this middle piece than to just slide the gasket off. Again, be careful not to lose the screws. These are screwed in some plastic beads, and I believe there are 6 screws in total, so 3 on one side and 3 on the back. Here in the back you have a little bit more limited space because of the window, but it should be okay to unscrew these. So now that the screws are out, you should be able to just take the whole piece off. Just like that. Comes with all the gaskets. And of course you can slide the gasket off, and then this whole piece comes out. If you want, you can further take this piece out with some clips in here. So there's a metal piece and a plastic piece. If you want to take these out, you can. And now a lot of screws on this top piece. Okay, so now that you took all the 14 or 15 screws out, not sure, but a lot of them, you can just take the whole piece off. Just like that. So that's basically all the gaskets on the doors. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for what's coming next with our Subaru Forester XT.